There are so many forms of abuse and discrimination that LGBTIQ people face around the world. Corrective rape, killings of trans people, arbitrary arrests and mass detention, torture, so-called conversion therapy, forced marriages. The list really goes on and on.
The level of cruelty of negation of rights. It is impossible not to have a sense of urgency when seeing the extent of suffering and damage that is being perpetrated every day around the world.
The murder of a Russian activist has been linked to a website that offers prizes for attacks on gay people.
57 Nigerian men are facing 10 years in jail. Their crime? Homosexuality.
Rights are a privilege to everyone by virtue of being human beings. But yet, we continue to battle for existence.
Outright is fighting for the rights of LGBTIQ people everywhere. There's not a lot of good documentation about LGBTIQ people's lives.
In the early days, we were breaking new ground every day, literally putting these issues on the map, proving that these were populations around the world that were persecuted.
One of our greatest strengths is having staff in more than 12 countries. We partner with local organizations that work directly with LGBTIQ communities. We gather data and then we compile it into a global report. Outright and our partners use the data to push for change with governments globally.
For so many aching years, we have been denied and we have been silenced.
We're uniquely positioned to do that because Outright is the only LGBTIQ organization with a permanent presence at the United Nations headquarters in New York.
Among the most pressing issues of the day that should be on the international agenda is the ongoing violence and discrimination facing LGBTI people worldwide.
Outright is one of the only truly global LGBT rights groups. Support to Outright here manages to ripple across the world and support groups everywhere.
And when there is a crisis, Outright knows exactly how to respond. We're also supporting LGBTIQ organizations long-term, through grants, through capacity building, and by providing access to decision makers globally. When I look back at the last 30+ years, I cannot believe how much success we've had globally. The main challenge now is to maintain momentum in the face of a continued global health crisis, when there are conflicts that are devastating LGBTIQ communities, and in the face of rising populist governments that are trying to roll back our rights.
We need to act urgently, we need to act decisively, and we need to act with the means that allow us to actually ensure that none are ultimately left behind.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Change happens because LGBTIQ activists and organizations and our allies insist on it, demand it, and know how to get it done. Outright will keep fighting. We hope you'll join us.